Today, I'm showing you how to fix a Samsung The Frame TV with model QN65LS03BAFXZA, and our customer sent us only their One Connect box because this is the part that commonly fails and causes a dead no power fault. Now, unfortunately, these boxes are no longer available for sale, so a repair is the only option left. Let's open it up and take a closer look inside. We're going to use this metal spudger to separate the shell. And immediately I'm seeing a lot of damage. Let's switch over to the microscope to take a closer look at the damage. Starting at the very bottom left corner of the board, this is our power plug. We're gonna shift over to the right and up a little bit. And we're gonna see some burn damage over here. More specifically, this component. Now, I've worked on a lot of these, so I know this is a capacitor. Oh my gosh, look at that. It is completely disintegrated. Originally, it looked like this blue capacitor over here. Now, typically when that happens, that also causes some of the diodes or transistors right next to it over here to fail. So if we were to look at these at an angle, these components right here and right here are the diodes and transistors that can sometimes short out. So we're gonna have to remove the power supply and check every single one of these using our multimeter to identify whether or not they have failed. Now, often the fuse will also blow. So in continuity mode, I get a beep when I have continuity. A good fuse should have continuity. And you know what? We do have continuity, so our fuse is not blown. We do have another fuse over here. Let's see if this one is blown. And it is not. Okay, that is a little surprising, but can happen. Let's remove the power supply. I have a connector on the far right. We'll disconnect that. And 2 silver screws on the bottom. Now should be able to lift the power supply out. We'll move the main board and the rest of the shell away and flip the board over. Still in continuity mode, we want to see if we have continuity. A good transistor should not have any continuity. This one does not. That's good. This one does not. Okay, no shorts. No shorts. That, again, is surprising. So my first step is going to be to replace the burnt component as well as any other capacitors that are in parallel with it. So the reason we just want to replace all 4 at this point is because they're all in parallel, they all get the same amount of stress, and if we only replace one, the other 3 may be near their end of life and fail in the near future. So as a rule of thumb, we'll replace all 4 just to ensure that we have a long-lasting repair. So I'm using my desolder braid, and I'm going to try and absorb as much of the solder from the joint as I can. And let's see, is it loose? It's not quite. So there's still a little bit of solder in the joint. Let's try and get the rest. See if I can just push the legs through. I think I can. All right, one of them fell through right here. The other one is right there. Let's remove it. And let's remove CP815 next, which is these 2 legs here. Let's just remove a little bit of the silicone so we can have easier access to the solder to properly desolder it. All right, let's go ahead and desolder now. If you have a Samsung One Connect box that you would like to send in for us to fix, we do offer flat rate services, which come with 1-year warranties. We also have 2- and 5-year warranties available. Those are on our website, which I'll link in the video description below. And if I wiggle the capacitor, I can see some movement on one of the legs. Let me see if I can, there we go. All right, now we can pull that one through. And the reason I did these 2 first is because these are going to be the same capacitor type. So both of these are 221K 2KVs. We'll go ahead and put our replacements. I'm going to remove just a little bit more silicone here. I just want to make sure I have enough of my pad showing so I can get good contact with my iron, good flow, and a good solder bond. There we go. We'll clip off the leads. Next, we're going to do the CP804, which is also under this thick silicone. Same thing, we're going to try and remove some of it. Same process, we're going to go ahead and desolder the joints with our braid. And I'm having a hard time because I didn't remove all of the silicone. So my iron is having a hard time transferring the heat into the joint. Let's do a little bit better of a job cleaning. Let's try again. There we go. Same as before. Can I wiggle it? Kind of. One of them wiggles. There we go. All right, now I should be able to grab it. And we'll repeat the process one last time over here for CP819. So I also did a quick cleanup to get rid of some of the burning residue. Let's go ahead and power it up and see what we get here. And I did just hear a click. Let's do a voltage check. And I don't actually recommend you do some of this because it's likely that you could damage the board if you don't do it right. But we're gonna do a high voltage check here. We're in DC mode. And we're getting a very steady 390 volts from the filter capacitor, which is good, that's what we expect. Let's check our 13 volt line over here, 12.79, that's very good. Let's check our voltages over here, and we're getting 405. Now it does say 350 volts, and so that's actually normal for this specific unit because it is for a 65-inch and it does need to output a little bit more power. So let's go ahead and put it back together and then we'll live test it with our TV. This is our The Frame TV. This is a 55-inch, not a 65, but we can use it interchangeably as a test set. Let's plug in the box we just fixed, and I'm getting power and it's turning on. Look at that. And that confirms it. We have a successful repair. If you found the video helpful or useful, leave us a like, subscribe for more content, and thank you for watching.